Welcome to everyone again. Welcome to TPE Virtual 2021. I am so excited to be here with you all today, even though I can't see you in this webinar format. Just please feel my welcome and excitement for this space. So welcome to Employee Orientation. We're going to go over the little agenda that we have for today. We're going to hear a few words from our leadership team, introduce you all to our interns, and then obviously meet me again. And then we're going to talk about the employer development resources that are going to be offered for you and go over the schedule with you all. So should you have any questions, please feel free to post them into the chat or use the Q&A feature, and one of my committee members will also be assisting you with that. So please feel free to do that. And as again, just before we get started, our session will be recorded. So should you need to run back and hear something again or look at something again, this session is being recorded. And then again, just please ask questions. One of the team members will be assisting me in the chat. So before I introduce myself, I want to let our amazing leadership team introduce themselves. So we'll start with Brenda.
Hello and welcome everyone. As Tim pointed out, welcome to TPE 2021 virtual edition. And so I am honored to serve as this year's chair. The employers, I feel like is kind of my kinship. It's where I got started in the world of volunteerism with the planning committee. I know that you're in excellent hands with Dr. Layson as you go through this journey. But this is, TPE is my home, and the candidate workroom was my home for several years, and to be able to still be able to come full circle and offer a virtual workroom and space for you all is an honor, particularly in my year as chair. Tim has lots of information that he will share with you, so I do not want to take up too much more of your time, except to say is that we recognize that this isn't what we thought TPE would look like, and certainly have appreciated the good work that our planning committee has done of kind of adjusting, to use a catchphrase. We've pivoted quite a bit this year to get us to this space. We really hope that it meets your needs. And more importantly, that you are, that you have an active voice in helping us create what the future of our profession, but more importantly, what we offer you as employers and also candidates in the long run. So if we discover over the course of this time period, you would like to see more, something different, or even want to become more engaged and involved with our committee, please know that you can reach out. We're happy to support you through that lens. We will be available all week through our solution stations and our virtual workrooms, our chats. So feel free to reach out directly to Tim or individually to each of us as committee members. We're here to serve, we're here to help. And again, thank you for joining us today. Our chair-elect, Kirby R. Gibson, was unable to join us for this particular session, but I am confident that you will see her throughout the week and engage with her in multiple ways. And I will turn it over now to Dr. Kirsten Fox.
Thank you, Brenda and Tim. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are. As much as we would have loved to see everybody in person, the opportunity to do TPE in a virtual setting has actually allowed for more employers to join us. And I think we have quite a few first-time employers. So if you are a first-time employer, a particular hello and welcome to you, and thanks for joining us. If you are a returner who has been with us for years, decades, welcome back to TPE. And with that, I'm just really going to turn it back over to Dr. Layson. I just wanted to say hello and thank you. We have 850 plus candidates who are excited to connect with you as employers, who are excited to see your positions. I know not everybody is able to take part of the interview days this week, but know that candidates are ready and waiting to hear from you when the time is right. If you have questions, whether this week or beyond, feel free to continue to reach out. As we keep saying, this week is really the beginning of our TPE season, in a sense. Your job postings will stay open until April 30th on our site. Your ability to continue to connect with candidates will stay open through the system until April 30th as well. So while we may only have interviews this week, the opportunity to connect, which is really important, will remain for the next two months. So with that, I'll send it back to Dr. Layson. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Dean Ice and Dr. Fox. I also want to introduce you all to two other folks, our fabulous interns, Devin and Shanice. They are not joining us on the call today, but you may see them or may see their names and different things. And so these are two graduate students who are interning with us for this year. And so we're really excited to have them. Devin is coming to us from Northern Arizona University, and Shanice is coming to us from Elon University. So we're super excited to have them be part of this experience with us. And so just to reintroduce myself, if you don't know who I am, my name is Dr. Tim Layson, but you all can call me Tim. For this conversation, I oversee our Employer Development Committee. And so all the programs and initiatives that we have been doing for employers have come from myself and others with feedback. In my actual day job, I serve as an Associate Director of Residence Life at Santa Clara University in the Bay Area. Go Broncos. And I always like to show a little bit of a picture of me. This picture to the left is weeks before I attended my very first TPE as a candidate in 2010 in Chicago. So it's a really exciting time. I've been connected with TPE for a little while now and volunteering, and so I'm so excited to continue giving back and share information with my colleagues. So just to kind of go ahead and put out there, what can we do for you as employer development? We're here to answer whatever questions you may have, provide you all some updates from the planning committee, consult with you regarding interview and scheduling logistics. We will be visible in our employer workrooms, virtual solution stations, like just really being a presence for you. And then for you all, relay any concerns or feedback you may have through this process, because we definitely want to hear from you, and we will at some point be asking for feedback, but we definitely want to hear from you in real time should you want to share some immediate feedback. So first thing I want to cover is the TPE event schedule. So this can be found in your employer dashboard. So this hosts all of our employer development programs. You can see between employers and candidates, you can see what's being scheduled. It has all of our employer virtual workroom hours, the TPE virtual solution station. So if you want to know what's going on at any given time or know when you can get help, this is a great way to just get like an overview sense, and then just click the links into the workrooms or the virtual solution stations. Just to kind of go over our time this week. So right now, employer orientation is happening. Welcome again. The all TPE welcome is literally right after this. And then we have our first set of employer virtual workrooms tonight. So just as a reminder to everyone, all the times that are listed on our TPE website are in Eastern Standard Time. So just as a reminder, for myself living on the West Coast, I have to sometimes Google what time it is in the Eastern time zone to figure out the time in my time zone to make sure I show up correctly. So just as a reminder, tomorrow we're gonna be hosting another employer roundtable discussion focused on the status of searches, and then we also have another employer virtual workroom. And then on Wednesdays, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday are the interview days of TPE. So on Wednesday, we have an employer virtual workroom. Thursdays, we have another employer roundtable discussion. And then that Thursday, we have employer virtual workrooms from 3:30 to 5 p.m. Eastern and 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern to catch any of our other folks in other time zones. And then Friday, we have our last employer virtual workroom. Really hope that you take advantage of the virtual workroom spaces, because we're really here to answer whatever questions, or if you want to catch up, that's really what that space is also meant for. But if you need a quick, like a quick chat with us. There is a blue circle on the employer dashboard, and it's a blue circle with a little chat feature emoji. I don't think emoji is the right word, but should you just have like a one-off question that you want to ask us, that will be staffed by a TPE team member or a Kuwai staff member. So we will be live with you via a chat room feature. And so we also do offer a wide array of virtual solution stations. These are the times are listed in the event schedule. So if there's anything that you will do, so also make sure that you check the event schedule as things may change or shift, or new information comes up. It'll also be it's also via your dashboard. So you'll definitely see it in one way, but always check our event schedule to see if there's any changes to the schedule. So as a reminder for your employer interview schedule, for your individual employer interview schedules, just some reminders of keeping your schedule up to date. Block off breaks in your schedule. I know we're all coming in from different time zones and different areas, and so making sure that you're placing in the appropriate blocks for yourself and your team. And if you are on a team, making sure to share the login information with the team and schedule access so that way everyone can see who's being scheduled for what interview table or interview schedule. And also just treat virtual the same as in-person interviews. I know the third-party medium camera makes it a little bit more challenging, but we want to make sure that we're giving candidates the best type of experience that we can, even in this environment. And also give yourself some grace. I know I'm saying that to myself this week, just knowing that technology issues may happen. A candidate may show up at the wrong time. And so just giving yourself some grace and giving candidates some grace as well, to ensure that we can all have a really great and positive experience. So candidate interview schedule, something we want to go over. So first and foremost, please continue to schedule interviews with candidates. As you heard Dr. Fox say, we have over 850 candidates with us this week, which is amazing, and it's just the start of our recruitment season. But we want to make sure that you schedule those interviews so that way you can have those amazing conversations. And then to the right, or my right, the images that are on here on the right, when you click on an individual candidate profile, it'll also be important to insert any information regarding your interview access platform. And so if you have Zoom links, WebEx links, Microsoft Teams, whatever you're using, we want to make sure that you put that information in the candidate profile for the individual candidate, so that way they know how to access your information. Or if you're emailing candidates, one thing that just to be considerate of, if they have to download any of the latest versions of whatever you're using for your web conferencing platform, letting them know that in your communication back to them. And another thing, just because it's popped up for us too at Santa Clara, is having telephone numbers ready, just in case Wi-Fi goes down or some sort of technology glitch happens and you can't use Zoom or WebEx or whatever web conferencing format you're using. Just having a telephone number ready as a backup. You don't necessarily have to publicize it to candidates, but just something to keep in your back pocket just in case something were to happen. And then lastly, have fun. We know scheduling and putting your interview schedules together is really tough, and a lot of work goes into it, but really hope that you all have fun and get to engage with some of our amazing candidates that we have for TPE this year, and get to know people who are going to be incoming to our field or moving into different positions, just having fun with the experience. And if you need a refresher on how to search for candidates or interview logistics, we do have a YouTube that will also be linked in the employer daily email for tomorrow. Just the YouTube video of where I go over step by step how to search for candidates and how to schedule interviews with candidates. So should you have any questions now, feel free to pop them into the chat Q&A feature, and we will keep moving. So one thing that candidates have told us in the past is candidate communication from employers. So monitoring email accounts regularly, whether it's you or another team member throughout the day, just to make sure you're replying back to candidates should they have questions. Also knowing that candidates are more than likely going to send follow-up thank you emails. So your email inbox may increase as we go through the week, just because they want to thank you for their time. Also with candidates, sharing any timeline information is going to be pretty critical. And also sharing information as to who will be part of the interview might be helpful. So that way they know the number of people, or at least the type of folks that might be on the interview. So that way they can tailor some of their follow-up questions. If you plan on recording your interviews, please make sure to inform candidates and get their consent. So that way they can do the interview and you all can use the recording for any record keeping purposes. But should you choose to record interviews, please make sure you have asked permission from the candidate, so that way they can make any arrangements for themselves. And then lastly, just creating a positive interview environment for candidates. As stressful as it is for us as employers, for employers to get our schedules together, to get people in the same room and links to work and all of those things, it's just as equally stressful for our candidates to make sure they show up at the right time with the right interview links and go to all these different things. So we just want to create like a really great environment for our candidates, so that way TPE continues to be the force that it is in our field. Like I said, we do have some employer development programs coming up this week. Literally right after this meeting, we will have the all TPE welcome. We'll hear from Brenda and a few of our association leaders. And so definitely want to check that out. And then tomorrow we have a roundtable discussion talking about the current status of search processes and getting together. And the roundtables are really just dialogue discussion to have with colleagues and share best practices. And then our last roundtable is going to be on March 4th, and where we talk about final interview / on campus best practices. And it'll also feature a good friend and colleague of mine, Dr. Corey Shapiro. So I'm super excited for that conversation. But please attend our programs, whether it's you or someone on your team or someone else working with you, because we want to make sure that we're capturing feedback and giving employers time to connect with one another. And like I said earlier, our employer workroom hours are listed right here. And they're also in the employer dashboard and in the event calendar. So really want to be here to answer any questions, make sure that you have all the needs that you have, or if there are any concerns. We just want to make sure that you get the help that you need. So please feel free to drop on by our employer workroom, because we would love to connect with you and hear about how your search is going, help you in any way, and go there. So these are all the times for our employer virtual workrooms. If you can't make it to these or you want to connect outside of these times, please feel free to email me directly, or employers at theplacementexchange.org is also another great email. So just some daily to-dos for our employers. We do send daily communication emails to you all with reminders, and this will also go to candidates, but it's tips, tricks, reminders, different things like that. Checking your employer dashboard to see if there's any upcoming programs or changes to any of the virtual workroom hours or solution station times. We would love for you to attend an employer roundtable. Drop in during virtual workroom hours. We would love to see you. Even though we can't be in person, we would love to see you and connect with you. Continue to review and schedule candidate interviews, just to make sure that you are meeting the folks that would potentially work for your positions at your institution. And just as a reminder, to make sure to put your interview access information in the candidate notes section of their profile, so that way they know how to access the interview. And then confirm the times of interviews with candidates. Because we're in this virtual world, I think that's even more important than normal, just to make sure the candidate knows what time to be there, you know what time to be there, and that we're all on the same page. And then I do have an event post TPE. We want to talk about how the search is going. So it's an open discussion. March 26, 2021. The times are listed there. We will also send out a social media post and an email reminder for you all to register. But we would love to hear, I want to hear from you all post TPE to see how things are going, offer any feedback that you all might have for our virtual event, and really just serve as another connection point for employer to employers. And again, I think the work that we do we can't do it without you all as employers. So just thank you for all the amazing things that you're doing. And we would also love to see your pictures of how you all are setting up for interviews. Please follow us on all of our social media links below, and use our hashtag TPE Virtual 21. And even though this is the start of our hiring process, hiring and recruitment and selection is a 365-day process and thing that we do. And so this is just the start of where that happens. So, but yes, just reminding everyone of that. And also just to give a shout out to the amazing TPE steering committee. They have done an amazing job and working and doing all the things and initiatives for TPE this year. And I've been honored to serve alongside with them. And thanks to our leadership of Brenda, Dr. Fox, and Kirby R. Gibson for all the things that they've done and the amount of things that they've managed and helped us move forward. It just goes without saying to say thank you to the committee and to our leadership. And for you all, just thank you for being awesome. We know that we're in a different time, and we hope that we can just continue to be a resource for you as an employer development team, and don't be afraid to reach out. So that was a lot of information. And so I'm going to turn to see if there are any questions. And I just want to thank you all for your time and for being here today. So please reach out should you have any questions. But other than that, thank you all so much.